Most people like to act very bigoted and strong-willed when it comes to their problems. Some people don't like to deal with them. Some people like to run away from them. Some people like to push them to the past and to the side and think they could just deal with it whenever later. And other people, they feel that if they block it out, it's easy to deal with. Some like to use drugs or sex addicts that have addictions to cope with it. Me, I think the greatest gift of is acknowledgement. It's an act of acknowledgement and knowing your situations, your problems. You know what I mean? And then figuring out strategies and plans and making ways to deal with them so they can become small to a giant so you can live freely. You can feel more godly and angelic. So one of the strategies I do with is acknowledging that I have situations that I need to deal with. You feel me? So like I acknowledge that I have situations with my family. I have problems with dealing with the demonic and satanic activity. I have problems with my nieces and family members doing blood sacrifice rituals, humiliation rituals with me, and it's not okay. It's not even normal. How many people could really sit here and say they got to deal with that? But in order for me to do better, I have to deal with it. I have to realize it, and I have to give it up to God so I can live, learn, and do better. I got to forgive these people, which I did. You understand? And when forgiving does not mean you have to go back where they do the same strange for a piece of change, but forgiving them and then moving on with your life, give it up to God. You feel me? Like, and everybody else who choose to cause problems in your life that's not that severe, that you know how to make it small to a giant, make your problem small to a giant, and you don't have to handle every altercation with violence and use your mind as a weapon. Those are the people you can love from a distance. Because even though you love them, they still kind of wish they still gonna be nasty. They still got low vibrations or they toxic energy and they're stuck in their negative ways. But when it go to people being wicked and evil, you gotta understand this. It ain't you, it was them, right? So every time you try to connect with them, they didn't want to connect with you. So after you try to connect, your first is your last with me. But when it's someone you love, you will consistently give them time and time of your energy again because you want them to feel the same as you do. You want them to love you. But it's eventually you have to give it up to God. You feel me? When you do, you don't go back with the blessings you made with God because if you do, that's up on you when you get burnt. So once you give it up to God, you don't have to stress. You don't got to deal with it no more. You don't have to have no type of feelings, meaning this person can never get a rise out of you no matter what they do won't matter because you have no expectations for them to do good. You know what I'm saying? It's over. You know what I mean? So what I do is I acknowledge that I have those situations and I work on them daily and I do things all day to keep my mind busy and going. You feel me? So what I do is acknowledge that situations that I have, you know what I mean? And I understand it like this. And I tell myself the truth because a lot of people, when you ask them, "How are you doing?" "I'm good." "Yeah, oh yeah, man, I just hit the lotto." They're gonna tell you stories for days. "Oh yeah, man, I just went to the club and it was lit, man. I had three girls dancing with me all night. I went home with two, and you know, you know, and we know that ain't true. We gotta hit them with the Yale, cause stop the cat. You know what I'm saying? But everybody gonna have a story to tell because they don't want people to know how they really feel. You know what I mean? They don't want people to know that they really going through it. But the greatest gift is acknowledging it. How you gonna get better and do better if you don't want to acknowledge it to yourself? Some people lie to people all day about their problems, even to themselves, so they don't have to deal with it. But that's not gonna work. And the end of it is gonna do damage later on in your future. And if anything, it's gonna bring you straight to hell because you're running from your problems. So what happens when it's all in front of your face and you don't know how to deal with it? You're gonna collapse. You're gonna break down. You might have a midlife crisis. So the greatest gift is to deal with it. I'm gonna tell you from experience, bro. And I tell myself like this: I'm not okay. But if I like somebody asks me who really cares about me, you think I'm gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I'm good, man. It's nothing." No, I'm not okay. Mentally, I'm not okay. Physically, emotionally, I'm not okay. But if I keep giving up to God, He's gonna remove it out of my way. Like you understand? You gotta be real with it. That doesn't mean I'm not okay. I want to harm myself. I'm not okay. I want to give up. No, it doesn't mean any of that. But the first step is acknowledging that you have a problem, a situation that you do need to move out your way so you can heal, so you can be okay one day. But you gotta work as a work in progress. You gotta work on it. It's a working process. And even if nobody don't want to do it with you, you have God. You have if you can't say you're the man, you can't say you're a natural born leader, if you can't show it to yourself and show it to everybody who looks up to you, who wants to understand your situation, or who acknowledges and admires you. No one's ever going to believe a word you say until they see your actions. So you're not the man until you show people you're the man. You're not a natural born leader until you show somebody you can lead and control your own destiny. Until you can own and control your own destiny, it doesn't make sense for you to ever come out your mouth and say it. So this is how I'm telling you. This is what I do, and I acknowledge everything that I got to deal with. Everything. I lost. 30 people last year. I mean, 15 people that year and 15 people the year before. I stopped counting this year. It's too many deaths. So you that right there, well, that's way overdue. That's a lot. So I'm gonna be honest. When a real person who loves me, who will show me love, who will comfort me, who will support me, and give me complete me, and at times if I need a closure, I'm gonna be real with mine. Because I honor my mother, my father, my sister, my brother. It's one for all and all for one. If it ain't that, we're not living our life. Right hand of God to our righteous owners call us home. There's no true love in that. That's not a free spirit with a wild heart. So when I go to people like that who are very saint for you, you got to be real with them. You know what I'm saying? And let them know how you feeling and get back to dealing with it and do so you can live, learn, and do better. You ain't gonna never be able to live, learn, and do better till you have understanding, till you understand control, till you understand wisdom, till you understand strength. And these are things you gotta ask God for daily. You gotta ask Him. You gotta ask Him. You know what I'm saying? Tell him how you feel. Let him know what it is, bro. Complain to him. Get upset with him if you need to. Not in the way of disrespect and using names in vain. But if you don't express your feelings to the number one person who loves you, how you gonna ever get by and deal with it? How you gonna understand? And how you gonna ever have closure? So your first step in life is knowing yourself and knowing your worth. Learning the things you can change from the things you cannot change. And the one thing you can always change is working on yourself to be a better you. In order, if you want to live your life and be happy and be successful, have abundance, you know what I mean, be dominant, you have to work on your problems that'll stop you from being the best you can be. Don't worry about all the things that you're great at. You keep making a strategize for you to be better and better. But in order for you to be the best you can be, you have to work on everything that'll stop you from being the best you can be. You know what I'm saying? So let me give you a great example for another person. Anyone could be your friend when it's time when we partying. We going out to Vegas. We going to Atlantic City. I'm a guy, so if I got girls, I'm popular. Whatever I'm doing is blowing up right now. Everybody gonna want access and be available and want to be limited to that. Happy and fun times. But how many of my people's family, friends, community activists, whatever you want to call yourself, want to be there when I'm going through my hard times and keep standing when I need them? Doesn't mean you have to be there every day physically. But I know you got a job. I know you got a life. Hit your brother up. You know what I'm saying? That love. Not a lot of people going to show up for you when you're down and out and the devil's knocking on your door. But you got to remember to show up for you. So like I said, up with it, man. Stay tuned in and follow for more. Blessings. Respectfully. Let's go.